It was Christmas Eve, the night of the grand Sterling family feast. Yet, as the live-in son-in-law, I was relegated to the pantry, picking at cold leftovers. Victoria Sterling stormed in and slapped a handful of grainy photographs on the counter, followed immediately by a stinging slap across my face. "Ethan, are you out of your mind? Taking your daughter to peep on the widow next door on Christmas Eve? Do you have no shame?" The extended Sterling family erupted in laughter. My 4-year-old daughter, Lily, threw her small body in front of me, shielding me with fierce desperation. "Mommy, no. Daddy wasn't looking at the lady. Daddy went to save her." Victoria didn't hesitate. She slapped her own daughter, looking at the child as if she were a roach on the floor. "Trash breeds trash. Take your little bastard and get the hell out of my house." Moments later, I was standing in the driving snow, holding my shivering daughter's hand. I wore nothing but a thin suit. I didn't look back, and I didn't beg. Instead, I pulled out my phone and aimed it at the street lamp. "Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Today, I'm live streaming a special episode, surviving the holidays on the streets with a toddler." Thud. A polished Italian leather shoe kicked the plastic bowl of food sitting on the curb in front of me. Rice and gravy splattered all over my trousers. Dogs should know their place. The masters are eating in the dining room. Your job is to watch the gate. Did you really think you'd get a seat at the table? Julian Sterling, my brother-in-law, looked down at me from the porch steps, a cruel smirk plastered on his face. Tonight, the Sterling estate was ablaze with light. Inside, the long mahogany table was groaning under the weight of roast turkey, seafood, and vintage wine. The family was toasting and laughing. Meanwhile, I, Ethan Hayes, the trophy husband who came with nothing, was eating their garbage. I had just woken up in this body, inheriting the memories of a man with my name who had been treated like a doormat for years. Before I could even process the transition, I was thrust into this primetime drama. I looked up slowly, saying nothing. Julian, unsettled by my silence, raised his voice. "What are you staring at? You broke freeloader. You dare glare at me?" At that moment, Lily, a tiny bundle in a thin coat, ran over carefully holding a warm dinner roll she had managed to sneak out. "Daddy, eat. It's still warm." She shoved the roll into my hand, then looked fearfully at Julian. Julian scoffed and shoved Lily hard. "Get away, you little mongrel." My pupils contracted. My body moved faster than my thoughts, catching Lily before she hit the concrete. But the jolt knocked the roll from her hand. It landed in a puddle of dirty slush. Lily's eyes turned red instantly. She didn't cry. She just stared at the ruined bread, her small body trembling with rage. A sharp pain shot through my chest. In my past life, I was a top-tier marketing director, an orphan who made it on his own. Now I had a daughter whose heart broke because I couldn't eat. "Julian," I spoke, my voice deadly calm. "What? You want to hit me?" Julian puffed out his chest, arrogant and untouchable. "Touch me, and I'll have you arrested." The noise inside the house died down. The family wandered out to the porch to watch the show. My wife, Victoria Sterling, the Ice Queen CO, finally clicked her heels down the stairs. She didn't even look at me or our daughter. She just threw another stack of photos into my face. "Explain this, Ethan." The photos scattered on the snow. They showed a blurry silhouette of a man climbing the window of a neighbor's house in a suspicious manner. "Nice move, brother-in-law. Peeping on Mrs. Higgins while she's changing, with your kid as a lookout. That's sick even for you," Julian shouted, playing to the crowd. Victoria's mother chimed in with her usual venom. "Victoria, I told you he was garbage. Peeping Toms today, thieves tomorrow. He's ruining the family reputation." The Sterlings surrounded me, their faces twisted with disgust. I picked up a photo. It only showed a side profile and my jacket. "This isn't what it looks like," I said, accessing the original host's memories. "Mrs. Higgins had a heart attack. I heard her screaming for help and climbed in to unlock the door." It was the truth. Victoria let out a cold laugh. Her exquisite face held zero warmth. "Saving lives? Ethan, your storytelling is pathetic. Mrs. Higgins went to visit her daughter in London 2 weeks ago. Who exactly were you saving?" I froze. In the memories, Mrs. Higgins had definitely returned 2 days ago. Why would they? "Mommy, Daddy isn't lying," Lily shouted from my arms. "I saw it. Grandma Higgins took medicine and gave Daddy candy." Victoria frowned in disgust, her eyes locking onto Lily. "Shut up. You're a liar just like your deadbeat father." "I'm not." Lily's face flushed red. "You dare talk back?" Victoria raised her hand again. I spun around, shielding Lily with my back, and stared Victoria down. "Victoria, if you're angry, take it out on me. Don't you dare touch my daughter." "Your daughter?" She sneered. "A mongrel born of a loser deserves to be my daughter?" Her words twisted like a knife in my gut. She pulled a document from her designer bag and slammed it against my chest. Sign it. You leave with nothing. Get out. Now. Divorce papers. The Sterling smiled. They had been waiting for this day. I looked at the clause that read voluntarily forfeit all assets and laughed. Right in front of them, I tore the agreement into confetti. The pieces fluttered down like snow. You want me gone? Fine. Consider us divorced. I bent down and picked up the trembling Lily, burying her face in my neck so she wouldn't see their ugly expressions. Let's go, Lily. Daddy's taking you out of this garbage dump. I turned and pushed open the heavy wrought iron gates. Outside, the blizzard was howling. Behind me, the Sterlings laughed openly. The wind felt like razor blades. I was only wearing a suit, a cheap off-the-rack model the Sterlings insisted I wear to look presentable while serving them. The moment we stepped onto the street, I took off the jacket and wrapped Lily in it tightly. Daddy cold. Lily whimpered, her hands like ice. I know, baby. Daddy is your furnace. Hold on tight. You won't be cold. I squeezed her closer, trying to transfer my body heat to her. The streets of the affluent suburb were empty on Christmas Eve. Distant fireworks illuminated our pathetic silhouettes against the snow. Daddy, does Mommy not want us anymore? Lily asked quietly. I kissed her forehead, choking back the bitterness. It's okay. That model of Mommy was defective. We're going to trade her in for a better version. Lily gave a confused, oh, and buried her head deeper. I tried to call a cab. The screen flashed. Service suspended. Non payment. I realized then that my phone plan and bank cards were all supplementary accounts linked to Victoria. She had cut everything off. I searched my pockets. In an inner lining, I found a crumpled Christmas card envelope. Lily had slipped it to me earlier. Inside were 2 crisp $1 bills. How long had she saved these? My heart ached. Daddy, I have money in my piggy bank. I rubbed her back. We'll keep the piggy bank money for candy. I didn't have the heart to tell her that Julian had kicked her piggy bank to pieces before we left, laughing as the coins scattered across the hardwood floor. The snow was intensifying. We had nowhere to go. I spotted a 24-hour ATM vestibule on the corner and ducked inside. The glass blocked the wind, but the chill seeped through the floor. Gore. Lily's stomach growled loudly. She covered it with her hands, embarrassed. I'm not hungry, Daddy. You eat. She looked up, her big eyes shining. I tucked the $2 back in her pocket. That's your Christmas money. We don't spend that. The glass door pushed open. A security guard in a heavy coat walked in. He looked us up and down with a sneer. Well, isn't this the Sterling family's pet dog? Kicked out on Christmas, huh? I ignored him. He pulled a wrapped, greasy burger from his pocket and took a massive bite right in front of my face. Tisk TSK. Pathetic. Homeless on a holiday. Want some advice? Go to the underpass 3 blocks down. Plenty of bums there. You'll fit right in. I stood up, holding Lily. I wasn't going to waste energy on him. Hey, don't leave yet. Let me get a picture for Facebook. Caption: The fall of the billionaire son-in-law. It'll go viral. He raised his phone. I turned sideways, blocking Lily from the lens. Back off. My voice was ice cold. The guard flinched, then scoffed as he put the phone away. Tough guy. You're still a loser. We stepped back out into the freezing wind. An empty taxi cruised by. I waved instinctively. The driver slowed down, looked at us, looked at the looming Sterling estate in the distance, shook his head with disdain, and sped off. Even the cabbies in this neighborhood knew who to serve. My phone vibrated. A text from Victoria. Come back. Kneel and apologize to my mother. I might let you sleep in the doghouse. No guilt. Just charity wrapped in humiliation. I deleted the text, took Lily's hand, and walked into the whiteout. In the snow, Lily's face was flushed a deep, unnatural red, and her breathing had turned ragged. I touched her forehead. It was burning. She had a fever. The freezing weather, combined with the trauma of the night, had broken her immune system. We needed a hospital immediately. I pulled out my phone again and dialed Victoria. No matter how cruel she was, surely she wouldn't let her own daughter suffer. Hello? Who's calling on Christmas Eve? It was Julian's voice, backed by the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. Put Victoria on. My voice was trembling with cold and rage. Oh, it's my loser brother-in-law. What? Froze your brain and want to come back to beg? Julian laughed. Too late. Victoria said everything you own, including that little bastard's toys, is in the dumpster. We just popped champagne to celebrate. My daughter has a fever. I need money for the ER. I gritted my teeth. Fever? Good. Maybe she'll burn up and save us the embarrassment. You son of a... Ethan. The voice switched to Victoria. Cold, detached. Lily is sick. It's serious. I need money. I try to keep my voice steady. Is using the child the only trick you have left? She sighed. Ethan, I always thought you were useless, but I didn't know you were this manipulative. Not a cent. If you have any dignity, figure it out yourself. I took a deep breath, the icy air searing my lungs. Victoria, You are going to regret this. Regret? The only thing I regret is being blind enough to marry trash like you. Click. She hung up. A second later, a notification popped up. User blocked. I checked Instagram. Victoria had just posted a photo 30 seconds ago. A perfect family portrait by the fireplace, smiles all around. The caption read, "Christmas cleaning complete. Took out the trash. Finally, peace." I wasn't in the photo. Neither was Lily. In my arms, Lily started hallucinating. Cold. Mommy. Panic set in. I knelt in the middle of the empty road, waving frantically at the few passing cars. Please, help. My child is sick. A luxury SUV slowed down. The window rolled down, and a woman in a fur coat peered out. Seeing a man in a suit kneeling in the snow, her eyes narrowed. Scammer. Pulling this stunt on Christmas? Disgusting. The window rolled up, and the car sped off, spraying me with slush. Right? Who would believe it? A man in a suit begging in one of the richest zip codes in Chicago. It looked like a setup. I held Lily tighter. I couldn't collapse. Not now. Near a trash can, I found a broken phone tripod someone had discarded. I snapped the legs back into place. I mounted my dying phone, pointing the camera at myself and my unconscious daughter huddled under the street lamp. My eyes changed then. Victoria, Sterling family. You like a show? I'll give you a show the whole world will watch. I carried Lily into the only place open, a fast food joint on the corner. 1 cup of hot water, please. I placed the 2 crumpled dollar bills on the counter. The cashier, a young girl, looked at Lily, then at my soaked suit. She didn't say a word, just handed me a large cup. The warmth seeped into my frozen palms. I carefully fed Lily small sips. Sir, I'm sorry. Lobby is closing, the manager said, walking over. I nodded, retreating to the vestibule area, finding a corner out of the wind. I set up the tripod and opened TikTok. I had an old account from my marketing days with a few thousand dead followers. I changed the stream title. Christmas Eve, kicked out by the billionaire wife with my sick daughter. I hit go live. At first, it was empty. Then, a few random scrollers drifted in. User 1, bad script, bro. At least find a realistic set. User 2, who wears a suit in a blizzard? Fake. User 3, is that kid a paid actor? She looks rough. Mockery and skepticism filled the chat. I didn't beg for pity. I looked into the lens and grinned, exposing white teeth against blue lips. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Tonight, we're playing a game, the $2 survival challenge. Starting funds, $2. $1 already spent on premium hydration, hot water. Objective, survive the night and raise enough for the ER before my daughter burns up. The viewer count started to climb. Violently fast. Hundreds, then thousands. Lily stirred in my arms, mumbling in a delirium. Daddy, I see Grandma. She's flying. She says she has fried chicken. My nose stung. My mother, Lily's grandma, had died last year because we couldn't afford a specialist. I took a breath and looked at the camera with dark humor. Guys, you hearing this? My daughter's already seeing the light. If a sponsor doesn't show up soon, I might be meeting the Grim Reaper alongside her. Chat, damn, this guy is dark. Chat, the kid looks genuinely sick. Where are you? I'll call 911. Chat, wait. I know him. That's the Sterling family's son-in-law. The guy married to Victoria Sterling. Chat. Holy crap, it is. The guy from the business magazines. The room exploded. Victoria's haters, business rivals, and drama lovers flooded in. The stream shot to #1 on the trending page. Suddenly, a gold highlighted comment appeared. ID, Victoria_Sterling. Victoria_Sterling, stop acting. How much money do you want to leave Chicago and stop embarrassing me? She was watching. Seeing that comment, that arrogance, I started laughing. A ragged, crazy sound. I grabbed a handful of snow from the ground and shoved it into my mouth. The ice shocked me into total clarity. I stared dead into the lens. Victoria, you think this is about money? Turn around. Look at the golden boy sitting in your study right now. Ask him if he's enjoying selling your new product blueprints to your competitors. The chat froze. Chat, what? Corporate espionage? Chat, he's delirious. Chat, wait, the golden boy. That's her brother, Julian, right? Across town, in the Sterling library, Victoria frowned at her phone. Instinctively, she turned around. The study door was ajar. Julian was hunched over her desk, frantically taking photos of a confidential file with his phone. That file was the Sterling Corp's roadmap for the next 5 years. Top secret. Victoria's face went white. She bolted toward the study. Julian, what are you doing? My stream went nuclear. Well, folks, looks like the Wi-Fi at the Sterling mansion is strong enough for a live betrayal. I wiped the snow melt from my chin. Lily woke up, rubbing her eyes. She kissed my cheek. Daddy, the people on the phone say you look like a movie star. I pinched her cold nose. They need glasses. I'm much better looking. Suddenly, the screen was blinded by animations. Rockets, galaxies, dragons. User the underscore kingpin sent universe x10. User the underscore kingpin sent universe x20. 99 universes. That was nearly $50,000. The chat stopped moving. The underscore kingpin, Mr. Hayes. 3 years ago, you bought a burger for a homeless vet under the Wacker Dry Bridge. The underscore kingpin. I said if I ever got back on my feet, I'd repay you 100-fold. The underscore kingpin. This is the down payment for the medical bills. Speak if you need more. The memory hit me. The previous owner of this body had done exactly that. A small act of kindness was now saving my life. I bowed to the camera. Thanks, brother. With the money secured, the narrative shifted instantly. The internet works fast. I was now the devoted father framed for heroism, kicked out in a blizzard. Victoria was the ice-cold villain who prioritized reputation over her child's life. Sterling Corp's stock tickers in the Asian markets began to freefall. I ignored the chaos online. Using the Kingpin's donation, I called a private ambulance to the best hospital in the city. After getting Lily admitted and stabilized, I booked the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton across the street. The hotel manager recognized me and nearly bowed. Mr. Hayes, we are honored. I kept the stream running as we took the gold-plated elevator. The contrast between the luxury hotel and my sodden, cheap suit was jarring. I smiled at the camera. See this, guys? Revenge is a dish best served with room service. My phone buzzed incessantly. Victoria. I declined a call. In the suite, the heat was on high. Lily, pumped full of antibiotics, was sleeping soundly in a bed bigger than my old room. My viewer count broke 10 million. More people were watching me than the NBA Christmas game. I poured a glass of tap water into a crystal goblet. They say alcohol drowns sorrows. I say hydration fuels the comeback. I launched into a monologue. People ask what it's like marrying into a billionaire family. Let me tell you, it's like being on a reality show called Survivor. Suburbia. Your wife isn't your wife. She's your CEO. Your brother-in-law isn't family. He's the HR department looking for a reason to fire you. Victoria Sterling. They call her the Ice Queen. Standing next to her saves on air conditioning bills in July. She specializes in emotional management, specifically managing mine. Just when I think I'm a human being, she reminds I'm an asset, and a depreciating one at that. The chat was rolling with laughter. Chat, this guy needs a Netflix special. Chat, walking air conditioner, I'm dead. Chat, laughing through the pain. Legend, Lily turned over in her sleep. Daddy, don't cry. I froze, touching my cheek. It was wet. I turned away from the camera, wiped my face, and turned back with a grin. Who's crying? Just allergies. I'm allergic to poverty. The chat didn't buy it. Chat, we saw that. Chat, let's get this man his own empire. Meanwhile, at the Sterling estate, Victoria's mother watched the stream, clutched her chest, and collapsed. Ambulance number 2 of the night. The next morning, the bomb dropped. Mrs. Higgins, the neighbor, landed at O'Hare Airport and went straight to the police with a camera crew. Ethan saved my life. The elderly woman told the press, weeping. I came back early from London and had an episode. I couldn't reach the phone. If Ethan hadn't climbed through that window to give me my nitroglycerin, I'd be dead. She produced her flight logs and medical records. Police arrived at the Sterling estate and arrested Julian for defamation, fabrication of evidence, and corporate theft, thanks to my tip-off. The pervert son-in-law was now a national hero. Victoria Sterling was the most hated woman in America. Victoria stood in the driveway of her empty mansion, watching the police cruiser pull away. She checked her phone. The internet was calling for her head. She realized then how wrong she had been. The man she called trash was the only decent person she knew. The brother she protected was a criminal. Regret, heavy and suffocating, crushed her. She ran out into the snow, looking for us. I was down by the Chicago River with Lily, watching the post-Christmas fireworks. Lily was wrapped in a new Moncler jacket, her cheeks pink. Daddy, pretty lights. I lifted her up. Yeah, beautiful. Victoria found us outside the hotel. She looked wrecked, hair messy, coat stained, eyes swollen. Ethan. She reached for my hand. I stepped back, shifting Lily to my other hip. I looked at her like she was a stranger asking for change. Can I help you, Miss Sterling? The formality hit her like a slap. Ethan, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Please come home. She was crying openly now. Home. I chuckled darkly. Which home? The pantry where I eat? Or the guest house Julian lets me sleep in when he's in a good mood? She went pale. Lady, do you want an autograph? Lily peeked over my shoulder. Her eyes were innocent but guarded. My daddy is famous now. Signatures cost a lot of money. Victoria Flincheth. Her own daughter didn't recognize her as mommy anymore. Just lady. She swayed, almost fainting. I didn't catch her. I had released the evidence of Julian's embezzlement during a second stream earlier that day. I video called him in the holding cell. He broke down live on camera, screaming about how the family forced him to be successful, spilling every dark secret the Sterlings had. Sterling Corp was done. The stock was delisted. The internet cheered. Chat. This isn't just karma. This is a tactical nuke. Chat. Best revenge story of the year. Victoria was desperate. She couldn't get near me physically, so she tried the only language she knew. Money. She logged into my stream and began dropping universes like rain. Thousands of dollars in seconds. Victia znak podkreślenia sterling. Etan, I'm sorry. Please give me a chance. I was playing a word game with Lily. I saw the golden banner. I smiled. I hit refund gift. Sorry guys, I don't accept donations from exes. Bad juju. The chat went wild. Chat. Emotional damage. Chat. He refunded her. That's a power move. Victoria tried to intercept us at the hotel lobby. I hired security. She tried to stop our Uber. I called the cops. Watching her get escorted away by a mall cop was the closure I needed. To drive a nail in the coffin, I announced a news segment, The Mom Editions. I reviewed profiles of eligible bachelorettes live with Lily. Lily, what about this one? She's a chef. Lily squinted at the screen. Is she prettier than the old mommy? I paused. Victoria was watching. Ms. Sterling, I addressed the camera. My daughter has high standards. If you aren't prettier than the memory of you, don't bother applying. Victoria fainted in front of her laptop. A week later, Sterling Corp filed for bankruptcy. Victoria lost the house, the cars, everything. She found me one last time. She was waiting by the river walk, shivering in a generic coat. She fell to her knees in the slush. Ethan, I have nothing. No company, no money. I just want you and Lily. I'll do anything. I'll be the maid. Just don't leave me. I looked down at her. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a pathetic desperation. Suddenly, a convoy of 3 black Rolls-Royces pulled up to the curb. An elderly man in a tuxedo stepped out and bowed 90 degrees. Young Master Hayes. The chairman has sent the jet. It is time to come home. Victoria froze. Young Master. My cover was blown. I was the sole heir to Hayes Global, the largest conglomerate on the East Coast. I had married into the Sterling family to fulfill a promise to Victoria's late father, who had once saved my life. I promised to protect his spoiled daughter for 3 years. The 3 years were up. The debt was paid. Ethan. Victoria grabbed my pant leg. I peeled her fingers off, one by one. Game over, Victoria. I carried Lily into the lead car. Through the tinted glass, I saw Victoria screaming into the snow alone. 1 year later, Christmas Eve, I was live streaming from the Hayes family private jet, cruising at 40,000 feet. The table was set with lobster and champagne. Merry Christmas, everyone. Lily was looking at a tablet screen, showing a live 4K drone feed of the New York holiday markets below. Daddy, look, that lady selling hot dogs looks like the old mommy. I glanced at the screen. A woman in a worn coat was scraping grease off a griddle on a street corner. She looked tired. It was Victoria. You're seeing things, sweetie, I said, smoothing Lily's hair. That's just a background character. I turned to the camera. I have an announcement. I pulled a woman into the frame. She wasn't a model or an heiress. She was the moderator of my chat, the one who had damned me medical advice when Lily was sick, who helped me organize my schedule, who loved Lily like her own. We're engaged. The chat exploded with hearts. Down on the street corner, Victoria watched the stream on a cracked phone propped up against the mustard bottles. She watched me kiss my fiancé. She watched Lily laugh. Tears dripped onto the hot griddle, sizzling and vanishing instantly. Someone asked me in the chat, did you destroy her just to teach her a lesson? I looked at the lens. A man needs dignity. And as for teaching lessons, there's no point in fixing a car you've already sold to the junkyard. Story complete.